Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6. We will present about our presentation with the title Production of Plant Antibody. Before we start our presentation, let us this introduction ourselves.
My name is Dea Marpaung with the last student number 199.
My name is Adelia Putrisania with the last study number 210.
My name is Fadil Zaki Asodiki with the last number 231.
My name is Cahya Fitria Hoirinisa with my last student number 242.
The first we must know about what is production of plant antibody. Actually, the concept of plant antibody or plantibody is about emerged from the need for highly specific and mentally safe methods to protect crops from pests and disease. Antibodies are proteins that can precisely recognize and bind to specific pathogens, but plants naturally lack the ability to produce these molecules. Through genetic engineering, scientists can insert antibody genes derived from animals into plant cells, enabling the plants to synthesize recombinant antibodies. These antibodies function similarly to conventional antibodies. They can identify and neutralize specific pathogens or their toxin inside the plant. This innovation represents a major advancement in modern biotechnology, offering a targeted and sustainable approach to crop protection. Next. This is our first general review is about antibody-mediated resistance against plant pathogens, written by Muhammad Reza Safanezad, Golam Reza Salehi Zozani, Mezam Tabatabaye, and another. Next. The first is an introduction. This introduction of this journal is first, plant diseases have a significant impact on global agricultural yield and quality. The resulting losses are substantial, averaging 14.1% globally annually, equivalent to a cost of approximately until $220 billion. This provides important context for the need for new resistant solutions. Second is resistant genes can only be transferred from sexually compatible species, which limits conventional breeding efforts. This underscores the weakness of traditional disease control strategies, namely conventional breeding. To overcome this species barrier, the authors introduced genetic engineering as a solution. Specifically, they propose the use of recombinant antibodies, or RABS, as an innovative approach to enhance plant resistance against pathogens. Next. The purpose of this journal is to provide a comprehensive review of the developments and current status of plant genetic engineering, which aims to produce antibody-mediated disease resistance. The next is to explain how recombinant antibodies, especially SCFV fragments, are produced and expressed in plants or in planta to neutralize pathogens like virus, bacteria, fungi by binding to key pathogen proteins. The next is to examine specific case studies and the successful application for recombinant antibodies against various classes of plant pathogens. And last, to highlight the technical challenges encountered, such as antibody folding issues in the cytosol, and to discuss future optimization strategies. Next.
Okay, the next is methods. The first one is hybridoma technology. These methods produce monoclonal antibodies by immortalizing antigen-specific B cells, allowing the resulting antibodies to be used as a source of immunoglobulin genes for engineering and expression in plants. Second, phage display library construction. This method is used to build antibody libraries from naive B cells, immune B cells, or synthetic libraries, enabling researchers to select high-quality antibody fragments without the need for animal immunization. The third one is antibody selection or panning process. This method involves the stepwise selection of antibody fragments based on their binding affinity, resulting in the best fragments that can later be converted into formats such as SGFV for use in plants. Next is genetic engineering of plants. These methods introduce selected antibody genes into the plant genome and direct their expression to specific cellular compartments so the antibodies can function optimally in inhibiting pathogens. The last one is functional evaluation of antibody expressing plants. These methods evaluate the effectiveness of the expressed antibodies in suppressing infection by targeting viral proteins, bacterial virulence factors, or other pathogen components to determine the level of plant resistance.
Okay, let's go into the discussion. In this first journal, we discuss antibody-based resistance against plant virus. One, antibodies against structural proteins or code proteins. Several studies have shown that expressing antibodies target the viral code protein can inhibit the spread of infection. For example, the Scrabble and Script antibodies target the TGLV rep protein and are able to reduce viral DNA accumulation when expressed in the plant cytosol. This is evidenced by analysis of left extracts, which show the antibodies bind strongly to the target antigen. In the transgenic virus plants, expressing antibodies against the P12 protein of citrus virus or CTV. 40 to 60% of plants exhibit resistance. The indication by the absence of viral antigen in erythrocytes and high antibody accumulation correlates with strong resistance. Next. Two antibodies to non-structural proteins. The targeting viral, replication, or help proteins provide broad resistance. First, expression of HCV against TPSV, RNA-dependent RNA polymerase, the confers complete resistance when antibody levels reach 0.016% of total soluble protein. Plants are even resistant to other viruses such as CNV and TGV. Next, expression of SCV2A targeting Flumpox virus, the replicas can suppress infection when antibodies are directed to the cytosol or nucleus sites confer resistant. Next. Okay, results on resistance to bacteria. Several tests results indicate that antibodies are particularly effective when directed to process subcellular location. Antibodies against EMP major membrane protein in phytoplasma provide complete protection in tobacco plants when expressed in the axoplasm, which seems to delayed by approximately 2 weeks and milder. Cytosolic expression was less effective. Expression of SCVV in corn against mesostones spiroplasma successfully production antibodies, but had no effect on disease progression. Next. Research results show that antibody engineering can significantly increase resistance. The fusion between HPV and antifungal peptide in Arabidopsis thaliana was shown to inhibit Fusarium growth and cover it hair resistant than either antibody or peptide expression alone. Expression of the antibody peptides fusion in which convert strong resistant, even increasing yields by up to 4.7 times compared to the control. Expression of HPV against Sclerotinia sclerotium in Resicanapus saw partial resistance, characterized by small necrotic lesion. Although the antibody was difficult to detect using Western blot.
Okay, next is discussion. This article explains that recombinant antibodies can be used to help plants defend themselves against disease caused by virus, bacteria, and fungi. These antibodies are produced through genetic engineering and then introduced into the plant so that the plant can synthesize its own antibodies. When a pathogen enters, the antibody recognizes and binds the essential parts of the pathogen, disrupting the infection process and increasing the plant resistance. Jadi jurnal ini itu menjelaskan bahwa antibodi rekombinan itu dapat digunakan untuk membantu tanaman melawan penyakit yang disebabkan oleh virus, bakteri, dan juga jamur. Various studies reviewed in this article show that recombinant antibodies can provide strong protection against several viruses such as CMV, CMP, and PPY, as well as some fungal pathogens. The main advantage of this method is that antibodies can specially designed to target certain pathogens, making the approach independent of the plant's natural suspensions. Jadi keberhasilan teknologi ini juga bergantung pada jenis antibodi yang digunakan di mana antibodi tersebut itu berada dalam sel tanaman. Berbagai penelitian yang direview di jurnal ini itu menunjukkan bahwa antibodi rekombinan itu dapat memberikan perlindungan yang baik terhadap beberapa virus seperti TMV, CMV, dan PVI. However, the technology also has several limitations. Antibodies can be unstable inside plant cells or not accumulate in sufficient amounts to provide maximum protection. Additionally, some pathogens may mutate, causing the antibodies to lose effectiveness. Jadi teknologi juga memiliki kekurangan, seperti antibodi ini bisa mudah rusak di dalam sel tanaman atau jumlahnya tidak cukup tinggi untuk memberikan perlindungan maksimal. Next. Okay, for the conclusion, plant disease remain a major threat, while conventional breeding is limited because resistant genes are not always available. Genetic engineering, particularly antibody-based resistance, offers a more flexible solution that can overcome the barriers of traditional breeding. Technologies such as flash display enable to directed production of highly specific antibodies or antibody fragments, even against antigens that are difficult to immunize. Antibodies targeting conserved domains have the potential to provide broad spectrum resistance against multiple pathogens. Then, although promises, this approach has not yet been widely adopted commercially due to the need for multidisciplinary expertise, safety concerns over expressing mammalian protein in crops, and challenges related to antibody stability inside plant cells. These challenges can be addressed through the use of protease-resistant tags, more stable antibody designs, or cabalite nanobodies, which are small yet highly effective. Last, in innovations such as these specific antibodies and targeting antibodies to specific cellular compartments open major opportunities for developing crops with stronger and more durable disease resistance. Next.
So this is our next journal review. It's about plant-based antigen production strategy for SARS-CoV-2, glycoprotein and RBD, and its application for detection of antibody responses in COVID-19 patients. Read by Katerina Takova and the other. Next. So the introduction of this journal is the first, the COVID-19 pandemic created an urgent need for rapid, low-cost, and accurate serological diagnostic tools to monitor infection and post-vaccination immune responses. The second is commonly used antigens in ELISA, such as the nucleoprotein and the receptor binding domain or RBD, or the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein are typically produced through expression systems such as bacteria, mammalian cells, or insect cells. However, these systems are not always efficient because they are expensive and requires high-level facilities, and its capability is limited in emergency situations like a pandemic. In contrast, plants or Nicotiana bentamiana have emerged as an alternative biofactory because they are inexpensive and scalable, safe, capable of rapidly producing high-quality recombinant proteins, suitable for large-scale antigen production for diagnostics. The last is previous studies have shown that SARS-CoV-2 viral proteins can be expressed in plants, but further evidence is needed to determine whether plant-produced antigens are truly effective for detecting antibodies in COVID-19 patients. Next. The next is the purposes of the journal is the first producing SARS-CoV-2 antigens in plants, optimizing the application and characterization process of the antigens, developing a plain-based antigen ELISA, evaluating or validating the performance of the ELISA, and assessing the commercial potential of plant-derived antigens.
Okay, and the next is methods. The first one is gene preparation, cloning of N in PAAQHT and agroinfiltration. NNHAV or RBD genes were optimized, cloned into PAAQHT and introduced into Agrobacterium for leaf agroinfiltration. Second, transient expression of NNHAV or RBD in Nicotiana bentamiana. Plants were infiltrated and incubated for 4 to 6 days to transiently express the recombinant proteins. Next is purification of plant-produced NHAV or RBD. Expressed protein were extracted and purified using NTA IMAC based on their Histex. Next is SDS patch and Western blot. Protein size and identify were confirmed through patch followed by Western blotting. Next is mass spectrometry. Purified proteins were verified by matching measure and theoretical mass. Next is mass photometry of NHEV or RBD. The molecular mass distribution of the proteins was analyzed to determine their oligomeric forms, including monomers, dimers, tetramers, or other complexes. Next is serum samples. Human serum samples were collected and used to evaluate the ability of the recombinant antigens to detect HAV-specific antibodies. Next is commercial anti-spike 1 RBD or 2 IgG ELISA kit. A commercial ELISA kit was used as a benchmark to assess the performance of the plant-based antigen assay. Next is optimization of the indirect ELISA protocol. The ELISA conditions antigen, serum dilution, secondary antibody were optimized. Last one is statistical analysis and cutoff evaluation. Data were statistically analyzed to determine the cutoff value, sensitivity, and specificity of the assay using ROC curve and related analysis.
Okay, we need next the results. Antigen production. The chimeric NFV and RBD protein was successfully produced in Nicotiana pentamiana live with a yield of approximately 100 mg and kilogram fresh weight. With the N protein rates a yield of around 30 milligram and kilogram fresh weight. SDS patch and Western blot analysis confirm both the successful expression and high purity on the recombinant proteins. B. Protein characterization. Mass photometry revealed that the N protein excited in several oligomeric forms, monomers, dimers, and tetramers which only swing with observation from previous studies. Meanwhile, the HFV or RBD fusion protein are predominantly monomeric in PPS buffer, indication stable expression and proper folding. C. Performance of HIV or LBD-based ELISA. The indirect ELISA developed using plant-derived HIV or LBD antigen demonstrate strong diagnostic performance. First, sensitivity to specificity, short accuracy, and fourth AUC. Combination with commercial ELISA kits so high consistent with coherent scope value of 0.8316 indication strong agreement between the two methods. D. Double recognition ELISA. The double antigen ELISA that's combine HEV or RBD and protein show. First sensitivity 85.42%. Next specificity 94.44%, and the third AUC 0.917. This method was slightly less sensitive than one single HEV or RBD base assay, but maintain actually high specificity. Next. Okay, the performance of HEV or RBD base ECG ELISA and comparison between the two variant cut-off analysis between bisa dilihat di tabel tersebut. Lalu in the table 2, performance of agreement between the anti-spike RBD or IgE ELISA kits, the Proti, the Vitali commercial kit, and the in-house ELISA in the detection of anti-RBD IgE approximately 84 serum samples were tested in duplicates with the commercial and ELISA test. Commercial area for the look the table. Okay, next.
Okay, for the discussion, this study shows that plants can be used as fast and low-cost system to produce SARS-CoV-2 proteins needed for COVID-19 testing. The researchers produced two important viral proteins, the N protein and RBD protein, because these are commonly recognized by antibodies when someone is infected with COVID-19. The plant, like Nicotiana betamiana, was able to produce this protein in good quality and in large enough amounts for use in diagnostic tests such as ELISA. Jadi penelitian ini menunjukkan bahwa tanaman itu juga bisa digunakan sebagai tempat produksi yang cepat dan murah untuk membuat protein virus yang dibutuhkan dalam tes COVID-19. The results show that ELISA tests made from plant-produced protein have accuracy levels similar to commercial COVID-19 test kits. This means that plant-based ELISA could be a cheaper but still reliable option for detecting COVID-19 antibodies. However, there are some limitations such as possible cross-reaction with antibodies from other virus and slight difference in protein structure produced by plants. Overall, this study demonstrates that plant-based technology can help provide more affordable, quickly produced, and easy to use COVID-19 diagnosis tech. Jadi hasil pengujian itu menunjukkan bahwa ELISA berbasis tanaman itu memiliki akurasi yang hampir sama dengan alat tes komersial yang sudah ada saat ini. Nah, ini itu berarti metode ini juga menjadi pilihan yang lebih murah, tapi tetap efektif dalam mendeteksi antibodi untuk COVID-19. Next.
Okay, next is conclusion. The study showed that Nicotiana pentamiana can produce two key SARS-CoV-2 proteins in sufficient amounts and in active functional form. The plant-produced proteins were successfully used as antigens in the ELISA assay and reliable detect SARS-CoV-2 antibodies in human serum. The HAV or RBD and N-based ELISA can be applied to monitoring immune response in infected patients, evaluating immune response after vaccination. A minor specificity limitation was observed due to cross-reactivity between the HAV capsid protein and anti-HAV antibodies. Overall, the study demonstrates that plants are an efficient and economical platform for producing recombinant proteins for infectious disease diagnosis, with the potential to reduce diagnosis.
Okay, that's all for us. Thank you for your attention. We apologize if there are any mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.